Okay, second grade. We are learning today. We're doing our lesson on safety with our science tools that we would have used, but I just still want to go over the lesson because it's important that we know how to use these things, although we might not be using them in the classroom or at home. It's still important to know how to use them in case you use these materials next year or in the future. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and you're going to see this PowerPoint. Okay, so scientists understand. So we're going to learn about the safety of our things that we use. If Miss Santana can find it. I think Miss Santana might have left it. Might have left it inside her house. Nope, here it is. Okay, so it's important that you can follow these safety rules, okay? So we're going to talk about the different tools that scientists use and how they do it with safety. Okay, so scientists understand that safety is very important when you are inside the lab. Okay, they follow safety rules at all times. They have to follow these rules because if they don't follow these rules, they can get hurt and have to go to the hospital. So following these rules will help so that you don't need to go to the hospital. It will also prevent, it will help you from not happening so that you don't have any accidents, you don't get injured, and that your experiments don't fail. Okay, so always practice science safety and follow all of these rules during science class or nature studies. Okay, so the first rule, listen and follow all directions carefully. Well, we already have that one as our class rule, so that one should be fairly explanatory. So you have to listen to what everything that Miss Santana or the scientist or whoever the teacher is saying, and you have to follow all the directions carefully. That means you don't rush, you do it slowly, and you make sure that you're doing it right, even if that means raising your hand a lot and asking if you're doing it right. Okay, we always wear safety goggles and gloves. Miss Santana does not have any of these with her, but you would wear these goggles and you would wear gloves. Why do we wear goggles? Yes, we wear safety goggles so that if anything splashes, it doesn't get into our eyes. Why do you think we wear gloves? Yes, so that our hands don't get dirty, one. Why else would we wear gloves? To protect us, yeah, because what happens if you're using your hands and then you rub it on your face or on your body or on your eyes? Let's say you're using something that stings. That won't be good. So it's important to use gloves so that when you're done touching whatever you're touching, you take off the gloves and you throw it in the trash. Or you if you have gloves that can wash, you can wash those. Okay. Never eat or drink or smell the materials you are using. You are never going to eat it, you are never going to drink it, and you are never going to smell the things you're using, because sometimes the things that scientists use inside the labs smell are really strong and can hurt your nose. Okay, and sometimes the things that they use can hurt your body, so that's why we never eat it or drink it. Okay. Then the next rule is wash your hands when you're finished. Whenever you're finished with something inside the science lab, you wash your hands. Remember, we wash them for 20 seconds. You should be pros at this, right? Okay. Keep your work area clean. That means there's not a mess. It means your desk or wherever you're working is clean. There's nothing on it. Okay. And the next one is never play in the science lab. There is absolutely no playing around when you're in a science lab. Never. Because guess what happens when you maybe start pushing someone or you start running? Yes, things can fall. And if the chemicals inside the things, if the liquid inside the beakers are super strong, they can hurt you and they can make a mess and you can ruin the experiment, okay? And the next one, read all directions before you start. Never start anything without reading the directions. Always, 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 always read your directions, okay? Clean and put away materials when you're finished. So whenever we're finished, although, like I said, if we were in a lab or if we were in the classroom using these things, we would do these. But I just want to go over this with you. You would clean and put away all your materials when you're finished. Now, your teacher or myself would explain how we would clean it and how we would put our stuff away, okay? The next one, never bring food or drinks into the lab. Never bring anything into the lab, only yourself. You only need yourself, your goggles, and your gloves. That's all you need, okay? And maybe a piece of paper and a pencil. But you never bring food or drink into the lab, okay? Because it could spill and it could make a mess. Okay, so what do you think would happen if we did not follow any of these safety rules? Yes, we could be sent to the hospital. We could get injured. We can ruin the science experiment. And we can get hurt, right? Okay, so next you have a sheet of paper that looks like this. Santana does not have it. You have a piece of paper that you will be using, and it should ask you, here, I have it right here. Give me 1 second. We're gonna stop sharing this. Okay, so in your piece of paper, you're gonna answer a couple of questions. It says, write some ways that scientists conduct experiments safely. So write some ways that a scientist uses the safety rules, okay? Maybe putting on gloves, maybe putting on goggles, maybe that's putting their things, what are some of the rules? That's what it's asking you. What are some of the rules? Maybe it's not playing around. Maybe it's never bringing food into the lab, okay? The next question is, how can ignoring the safety rules affect an experiment? How can that hurt your experiment? Well, what happens if maybe you're playing around and your experiment falls on the ground and breaks? Is it ruined? It's gone. You can't do it again. So what happens if maybe you smell something? How can that ruin your experiment? Well, maybe you have to go to the hospital now and you can't finish it. What about, what's another rule that it said? Follow directions. Listen and follow directions. Well, what if I want to do it super quick because I'm so excited and I don't read the directions and I just do it? Well, maybe you did the wrong thing and now you have to start again. Okay, so it's important that we follow these rules. The next part of the worksheet says it's important to follow blank rules at all times. Following these rules will help prevent blank. It's important to follow safety rules at all times. Following these rules help to prevent injuries. Injuries. INJURY. Injury. Oh, injuries. I'm sorry. INJURIES. Injuries. Okay. The next one. Scientists wear blank to protect their eyes. They wear goggles. Okay. And they wear blank to protect their hands. Gloves. They keep their work area clean. In class, you must read and listen to all blank before you start. All directions. Good job, good job. Okay, so as soon as you're finished with this video, please finish the worksheet and we will we will do something very fun tomorrow. So keep in tune for that. You'll find out what we'll do tomorrow. Okay, totus tuus, Maria.